Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a former Boeing 737 pilot and a member of the PMDG 737 tech team. Today we are flying the latest PMDG 737-800 update, which includes native compatibility for Sim Update 6 and, amongst others, some improvement to the navigation handling and the nav data handling. Now, we are going to fly this airplane with two exciting mods. The first one is the PMDG EFB Plus mod, which completely changes the layout of the Universal Flight Tablet, including a lot of features that I'm going to showcase on this flight. And the second mod is the Ryanair livery and model from Hues by Ryzen. This model adds a totally custom Ryanair cabin and cockpit on top of the typical livery that we are used to from Hues anyway. Really fantastic combination, and I'm looking forward to our real ops from Cologne to Tenerife, which is a sector that I've flown countless times in the real world during my time on the 737. So join me up in the flight deck of our 73 and then we can get our beauty ready for today's flight. So let's open that one up and then we can jump straight into our 737. It's a little dark right now, but just to show you, this is what the cabin looks like now. Really fantastic, custom Ryanair seats, custom headrests, and everything over here. Like, that's really well done. Even some scratch cards down here. Okay, so with that, let's make our way into the cockpit of our 73. First things first, let's go ahead and put the code away, put our flight bags away, left and right, and then we can just start with our setup. So let's go ahead, switch that battery on, switch the external power unit on, and then we can switch the dome light on, and with that we can finally turn that flashlight off. Alright, so lots of custom stuff over here, like the original Ryanair checklists and all that lovely type of stuff. Also, you can just put a little clutter there. Also, look at the fantastic cabin. I mean, how lovely is that done? That's like really well done. The only thing I wish Hues would have been able to do would be to remove that wall on this side over here, which Ryanair doesn't have. But I think they're the only ones not having it, so it kind of makes sense that PMDG put it in place. But look at that. Really well done, isn't it? Okay, now let's go ahead and start setting our 737 up for the flight. We got the batteries, external power, landing gear lever is down, flaps are up, and agree. Then let's go ahead and continue with our fire tests. That's looking good, and then we can test the squibs, which is looking good. The external, the emergency exit lights are armed, attendant call button is checked. And the takeoff config warning is checked. Cargo fire extinguishers are looking good. The squawk machine should definitely be on standby. Then voice recorder on. Flight recorder test. Clackers. 1, 2. Stick shaker. 1, 2. And finally the IRSs are both going into nav. Alright, back here everything's looking good, then let's take a seat on the captain's seat of our 737. We'll start the day with a light test to ensure that everything is operational, and this is looking pretty good over here. So then let's test the lights down here, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Then we can go down for the oxygen test. Alright, and that is looking excellent. Fantastic. Last but not least, we've got traffic, airport and terrain, and we'll do that on both sides. Great, and with that our airplane is set up for the first couple of things. Now, let's have a look into the PMDG EFB Plus mod. So, we're going right down here onto the EFB Plus menu, flights, and then we can import our flight plan from SimBrief. And here it is. Now let's open the operational flight plan and have a look at what we are going to do today. Now, starting down there on the dispatcher maps, please. Let's just scroll up that little bit. Alright, so here's our route of flight, leaving Cologne and then through Belgium, France, Spain and Portugal, all the way down to Tenerife. The significant weather chart, if we look at the high level chart, is completely clear, so that's good. For the weather, we're departing Cologne 080 at 4, Cabo K, 16 degrees, 1016. It's early in the morning over here. It's currently 5:25 a.m. scheduled to leave in 20 minutes. So that's all easy. And then Tenerife, 25 degrees, overall good weather conditions. Probably going to look at runway 07, which is an interesting runway to approach because it is really prone for turbulence. Our outlet in Gran Canaria is looking superb as well. So with all of that in mind, leaving Cologne at 3:45, we are going to be late in Tenerife, significantly late, like 25 minutes late, because we have 37 knots of average headwind component, really strong headwind, but I'd rather be late on the flight going there, because that means that everybody hurries during the turnaround, and then you get a good turnaround, and then you got the tailwind on the way back home, much rather than being late on the way back. Alright, so this is all looking good. Now looking into the fuel, 15.5 is the minimum. Let's turn that into 15.6, and I see absolutely no reason to take any more than that. So let's go right down into our weight and balance menu, load the plane from SimBrief, precise loading, and then we'll turn the fuel into 15,600, like this. 189 passengers, so complete full house, and that is all looking good. Now, after that, we do have the flight log over here, which is like really nice as well. You can enter your flight times, then you're gonna get those predictions. Really lovely stuff. I really like the way they've done this in the EFB Plus mod. This is also completely new with the mod. This is not part of the standard PMDG EFB, but really nice. Okay, now let's go for our charts. We are using the Navigraph charts today because in the real world Ryanair does use Jeppesen nowadays. So let's find our airport charts, and then we can pin that one, and then we're also looking for the SID chart and for the Nürburgring Papa departure. Here it is, Nürburgring 3 Papa. Let's pin that one as well, and here we go. Alright, cool. So that's all on board. Then let's flip that to night mode. And with that, our EFB setup is pretty much done. By now, the cabin crew should have completed their checks. So let's request boarding down here. And then we can move right down into the data link. And then we got ATS, ATIS, Echo Delta, Delta, Kilo. Okay, request that. This is so much easier than having to get the ATIS via voice, which we had to do at the time when I flew the 737. But yeah, still got to program the flight plan manually, so it's not all easy yet. Okay, nonetheless, let's get started. FMC 737-800, 26K, and the nav database is up to date. For the position initialization, we're going from Echo Delta Delta Kilo, and we can copy and paste the GPS position. Then let's put that in here to Golf Charlie Tango Sierra, Ryanair 1035. Alright, our departure is from Cologne, and now we need the ATIS, which has just arrived, and we've got information Golf, departing runway 13 left and 06, wind calm, Carvok 1016. Alright, so 1016 is set once, and you're not supposed to be on standard. Set twice. Good. Remark, drone activity reported in the vicinity. Okay, they are using realistic things here. Don't say intentions isn't realistic. So, 13 left, Nürburgring 3 Papa. Now, let's go for the route and start entering that stuff. So, after Nürburgring, we follow Yankee 868. To Navak, Zulu 283 Lima November Oscar, direct Raska, then direct Farman, then we continue direct Estok, Upper Tango 300 Pontoise, from there Upper November 872 Iriga. Then we continue direct Fushti, Red Atlan, direct Abupi, then direct Shamax, then direct Bexal, Upper November 866 to Konbar. Okay, and then for the arrivals, ILS Zulu 07, Konbar 1 Golf, and then let's see where that one leads us. Towards Xanos. So let's select that. Alright, so with that our route is in here, activate, and then let's continue with our performance. Costin X6, reserves 2.3. So, zero fuel weight is 59.9. Flight level 350. Top of climb wind is 215 at 29. And the ISA deviation +3, so that's minus 51 degrees. Transition 5001. Okay, takeoff page number 2 is all set. 250 below 100. Legs page. So, straight ahead, Delta Kilo 132, max 205, Delta Kilo 146, max 205, Delta Kilo 152, max 205, and then we get Nurbanich. Okay, I'm gonna leave the speed restrictions the way they are, and the initial climb clearance is to an altitude of 5000. So let's put that down here. Now, for our winds, normally you shouldn't need to execute this, but in the sim you do. Okay, so average wind 239 at 42. Alright, like this. Ground distance 1882, and that is checked, and the engine out, Kilo Bravo Oscar /6 miles, and Whiskey Yankee Papa 360 left turn, so radial 180 is entered down there. And that's it. Now, let's also put Whiskey Yankee Papa at the end of the legs page. Create a discontinuity. Then hold. Next hold. Whiskey Yankee Papa 360. Inbound, left-hand turns, climbing 4000. Okay, good. So, that's our FMC done. Then, boarding is in progress. Passengers are coming slowly though. Really slowly. But okay, can't change that for now. Let's keep going. Okay, yaw damper on. Nav transfer display switches normal and auto. Fuel pumps all coming on. Thrust feed is checked on. Norm arms on. That's all set. So, packs auto. Then we are climbing to initially 35,000. Landing field elevation is 238, so 200. Like this. Logo lights on, wheel well lights on, and the right igniter. Let's turn the compass light on. So, up here we'll take a range of 10 miles. The flight directors are on, minus the master. Runway heading 134. Is set, initial 5.1. So, 134. And 134. Okay, auto brake RTO. Reset the fuel used. Engine oil is okay, and the hydraulic quantity is okay. QNH 1016. So, going down, park and brake, set, frequencies. Alright, let's go for that one. So, delivery 121.855. and ground is gonna be on 121.73. Like this. Alright, now for our departure. The only frequencies we have left are Nürnberg, so let's take that. 16.2 and 16.2. Okay, radios are set. Down here we'll take weather and turbulence. Squawk machine 2000 and standby. Number 1 is selected. On this side we are gonna go for 121.5. Like this. VHF 1, select all that stuff, and here we go. Alright, cool. So that's our setup completed. Almost, at least. One left. That's the MFRA. That's gonna be 1850. Alright, here we go. Then let's copy and paste that to the other side. And that's it. Fantastic. Cool, so our setup is complete. Let's go ahead and grab the IFR clearance. So, information... Golf is on board. Departure clearance, Golf, stand Charlie 10... Actually, Charlie 12. And Köln Tower. Moin. So, Cologne to Tenerife, Ryanair 1035, Cologne, Charlie 12. That's all good. Send the clearance request. And that's on its way. Fantastic. So it looks like the boarding is completed as well over here. Then let's use the time and say hello to our guests. Liebe Fluggäste, einen wunderschönen guten Morgen aus dem Cockpit, hier spricht Ihr Kapitän. Mein Name ist Emanuel, im Namen der Ryanair darf ich Sie ganz herzlich an Bord unserer Boeing 737-800 auf unserem Flug nach Teneriffa willkommen heißen. Wir werden in Kürze unsere Motoren starten, rollen dann zur Piste 13 links für einen Abflug über Bonn direkt dann in Richtung Teneriffa. Das Wetter dort wunderschön, 25 Grad, leichte Bewölkung. Wir erwarten heute einen leichten Gegenwind, weshalb wir vermutlich etwas länger brauchen werden als geplant. Wir rechnen mit einer Ankunft circa 10 Minuten verspätet. Nichtsdestotrotz machen Sie es sich jetzt bei uns an Bord bequem und wir wünschen Ihnen einen guten Flug. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emanuel, and in the name of Ryanair, I would like to welcome you all on board of our Boeing 737-800 on our flight to Tenerife. The flight time is going to be approximately 4 hours and 50 minutes, a little bit longer than scheduled because of some rather strong headwinds. Nonetheless, we will do our best to get you there as quickly as possible. Thank you very much for being on board. Now, please do pay your full attention to the cabin crew safety demonstration that's going to commence very shortly. And for now, thank you very much for your attention, and we'll get back to you with the weather when we start the approach to Tenerife. Okay, good. So, they're briefed. Then, ATC message. There's 2 of them. The first one, request being processed, standby. And here's the clearance. Clear to Tenerife, Nürnberg 3 Papa departure, maintain 5000, departure 121055, squawk 2745, expect 13 left. Okay, Wilco. So, 13 left, Nürnberg 3 Papa, 5000, which is double checked, and then 121055, squawk 2745. So, 2745, and that's all checked. Good, so we got that. Then let's go for our departure briefing. Threats for today's departure? None. Okay, route check. You can see how this is important when we have to type all that stuff ourselves. Echo Delta Delta Kilo to Golf Charlie Tango Sierra, Romeo Inca Romeo 1035. Our routing is Nürnberg 3 Papa to Nürnberg, Yankee 868 Navak, Zulu 283 Olno, Raska, Farman, Estok, Upper November 300 Pontoise, Upper November 872 Eriga, Fushti, Atlan, Abupi, Kshamak, Bexal, Upper November 866 Konba, and then we've got 1,881 nautical miles, which checks against the flight plan. Time UTC 0340, altimeter 1016, reading 230, MFRA 1850, flight directors on, minus master, standbys are set. Left sea takeoff 13 left, flaps 5, noise 2.5, and engine out straight at 6 miles left to Wipper, hold in 4000. For the emergencies above 80 knots, I will only reject for fire warning, engine failure, predictive wind chill warning, or if the aircraft is unable or unsafe to fly. If I call stop, I will simultaneously close the thrust levers and disengage the auto throttle, apply maximum manual braking, or verify operation of the RTO auto brakes. Manually raise the speed brake lever and apply maximum reverse thrust, and when the aircraft comes to a stop, I will set the parking brake. Now, if you call stop, I will note the brakes on, speed call speed picks up or speed picks not up, and thrust versus normal indications. I'll call 100 knots, 8 knots, 6 knots, and the runway distance remaining. Verify your actions and call any emissions. I will call auto brake disarm and select flaps 40 when the parking brake has been set, and advise ATC of the reject. We then identify the failure and carry out any drills as appropriate. If we decide to evacuate, we redo the evacuation checklist. Time permitting, we'll pull the CVR CBU, grab the lid, and then we get out. If the call before V1 is keep going, there will be no actions below 400 feet except to cancel any warnings and raise the landing gear with a positive rate. At 400 feet, verify heading, select and carry out the memory items. At the MFRA, buck up, retract the flaps and schedule. Flaps up no light, select level change, max continue thrust, engage the automatics, non-normal checklist, PIOS in its PA, and then we'll execute our plan. Now, for our taxi, it's a pushback with the nose to the left-hand side, taxi runway 13 left, which is pretty much immediately in front of us. So we are parking over here and the runway is over here. Very short taxi. Our departure is the Nurbanich 3 Papa departure on chart 10-3 hotel, effective 16th of April. Transition altitude 5000, and that is checked versus 5001. Okay, remain on tower frequency until passing 2000 and contact Langradar 13535. Speed max 250 at or below level 100, and that is checked. Now, for our route, straight at Delta Kilo 132, maximum 250. Then we continue via 146, 250, 152, 250, and then inbound to Nurbanich, no further restrictions. MSA 3800. You have any questions or suggestions on the briefing? Nope. Fantastic. Safety inspection checklist and before start checklist down to the line, please. Gotta love this feature of the Hues mod. So, surfaces and shocks checked, maintenance status checked, battery on, electric hydraulic pumps on, landing gear lever down, ship's library checked, IRS mode selectors, nav, gear pins 1, 2, 3 removed, probe covers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 removed, lighters checked, oxygen tested 100%, yaw damper on, nav transfer display switches, normal and auto. Fuel 15.5 required, 15.6 on board, 4 pumps on, cabin utility IV galley power on, emergency exit lights on, fast modes on, window heat on, air compress, PAX auto bleeds on set, pressurization mode selector auto. Instruments cross-checked, auto brake, RTO, hydraulics, normal, speed brakes. Down D10, parking brake set, start from cutout switches normal, wheel with fire warning checked, radius, radar and transponder set standby, radar and aileron trims 3 and 0, takeoff briefing discussed, PA complete, holding at FMC CDU. Okay, so starting the APU and the boarding is completed, so let's go ahead with our weight and balance, please. Now, just to be safe, I am gonna load this one again from SimBrief. And you were on 15,600, like this. So, zero fuel weight is 59.9, and that checks against the plan with a CG at 23. Okay, so let's get that ATIS again. So, performance, Köln-Bonn, runway 13 left, and we are gonna take the length the way it is in here. Okay, takeoff weight 75,600, and the center of gravity was 23. Now let's go for our wind calm 161016. Okay, that's all good. Calculate. Takeoff 131. So 24K at 31 degrees. 93.5 is checked. Okay, flaps 1, center of gravity 23, 5.73 units trim, and the speeds 505155 are all looking good. Yeah, that was a bit fast. Here we go, 155, and the trim is set. Okay, good. So, our performance is complete. Then, let's prepare the position for pushback and departure. Okay, and then we can go ahead and close up. Retract the air stairs, please. APU is available. And here it goes. Okay, and then all the equipment can be removed. So, that's done. Ground power release. That's all done. Good, shocks removed. Lovely. Let's finish up the checklist. So, FMC CDU set, M1 on ES box, automatic, reduced 24K, speeds 50, 51, 55 set, stop trim 5.7 set. Performance weight and balance, sight and send, phones off, EFB, airplane mode stood, flutter windows and cockpit door. Locked, doors closed, passengers seated, before start checklist complete. Great, then let's call ground and get the pushback clearance. Calling ground, Schwingen Morgen, Ryanair 1035, request pushback and startup.
Ryanair 1035, push and start approved, face northwest.
Push and start approved, face northwest, Ryanair 1035. Before start checklist below the line. Air compacts off, anti-collision light on, parking brake set, transponder alt off, before start checklist complete. Ground from cockpit. So, pushback and startup approved, face northwest, and the parking brake is now released. Roger, start the push, and let's call it off block on time. Those 2 minutes don't matter. Alright, and we're waiting for your signal to start the engines. The wing walkers just don't give a shit. Alright, well, no comments on the wing walkers. What's this? Interesting. Not how this went in the real world. But okay, ground from Floodake. We are ready to start in sequence 2 then 1. And we'll commence engine 2 now. Engine 2 start. And 2. Oil pressure, and 1. Just don't look at the nav display, okay? Pretend that you don't see what GSX is screwing up there. I suppose here we are. Pushback completed, set parking brakes. Parking brake set. Start a cutout, monitor 2, starting 1. Engine 1 start. And 2. Oil pressure, and 1. Alright, ground. We have 2 good starts. You're clear to disconnect. Show me the pin on the right and have a wonderful day. Bye now. Start a cutout. Monitor 1. Engine 1 stable. Okay, tuck, tow bar. Just waiting for the guy with the pin. And there he is. Alright, clear signal is received. Flight control check. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Okay. B4 taxi checklist. So, generators on, APU off, start switches, continuous, probe beat on, anti-ice off, air conditioning, PAX auto, bleeds on, isolation valve, auto, flaps, 5 required, 5 selected, and the green light, stop trim, 5.7 units required, and set, start levers idle return, flight controls checked, recall checked, B4 taxi checklist complete. Ryanair 1035, request taxi.
Ryanair 1035, taxi to holding point runway 13 left, behind November Blue Mike, Alpha 7.
Taxi holding point 13 left via November Blue, Mike Alpha 7, Ryanair 1035. Okay, clear right side, clear left side. So let's just get the armrests down. If you would be so kind. Cool. Park and brake released. Config. And let's go. So basically, straight ahead. They want us over the blue line, they can get us over the blue line, and before takeoff checklist down to the line. Config, checked, flaps, 5.5 green light, stop trim 5.7 set, takeoff briefing. It's a left seat takeoff, runway 13 left, flaps 5, noise 2.5, and the takeoff speed's 150, 151, 155 set. So we've got PAX auto bleeds on, anti-ice off, and the engine out straight at 6 miles, left turn, direct Vipper, and pick up the hold 360 left turns, climbing 4000. The sit straight at Jolly Kilo 132, and then via the other RNAV waypoints, and when passing 2000, contact radar 13535. Any questions? No? Alright. Cabin. Secure, before takeoff checklist complete.
Ryanair 1035, contact tower on 124.98. Go to Flug.
124.98, Ryanair 1035, tschüss.
Approaching 13 left.
Köln Tower, good morning, Ryanair 1035, ready for departure.
Ryanair 1035, Köln-Bonn Airport Tower, runway 13 left, winds 070 at 4, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 13 left, cleared for takeoff, Ryanair 1035. Okay. So, a moment ago it wanted to roll, now it needs more than 40% and 1. No comment. Before takeoff checklist below the line, MCP, set, transponder, Tara, strobe lights on, landing lights on, before takeoff checklist complete. Okay, we're cleared for takeoff. Confirm read back. Yeah, cleared for takeoff. Alright. Then I'll make it a rolling takeoff. Stabilized. Sub takeoff thrust. Takeoff thrust set, indications normal. AG knots, checked. Gear up. LNAV. Checked. I just love the precision of a PMDG aircraft. The thing flies exactly the pitch and power it should. Okay. Command A. Buck up. And then we can change over to departure. So, flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Long radar, good morning, Ryanair 1035, passing 2700, climbing 5000. Flaps up. Speed checked.
Ryanair 1035, laying in radar, identified. Climb flight level 100, direct at Kilo 132.
Climbing flight level 100, Ryanair 1035. Set, 100 checked. Flaps up, no lights. VNAV, set standard. After takeoff checklist.
Ryanair 1035, contact Langen radar on 127.625.
127.625, Ryanair 1035. Long radar, good morning, Ryanair 1035, passing level 43, climbing level 100.
Ryanair 1035, Langen radar identified. Good morning, Bonn, QNH 1016, climb flight level 190.
Climb flight level 190, Ryanair 1035. Set, 190 checked, VNAV. Okay, so after takeoff checklist, air cannon press, 2.6, climbing set, altimeters, standard passing flight level 62, now checked. After takeoff checklist complete. Okay, release cabin crew.
260 transfer 2 Victor Lima.
Ryanair 1035. Any chance to proceed direct Navak? In the real world, they would clear you as soon as you're above 6,000. Direct Navak, Ryanair 1035. Okay, nice little shortcut.
Ryanair 1035, contact Navajo run on 1035.
Okay, execute. LNAV available? LNAV.
Langen radar, Moza 476, hold right, good visibility.
Okay, lovely. So, the next direct is going to be given once we are with the Belgians. Altimeters, passing 100, climbing 190, 10 checks. Fuel balanced, 6 pumps on, lights off, APU off, air cannon press, 4.0 climbing set, fasten belts, auto, recall, checked, and monitoring 1 to 1.5.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your purser speaking. We have now reached cruising altitude, and the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt.
Now look at the fantastic side of Cologne down here.
Please take a moment to stretch your legs, and if you need anything
That's really
at all,
reason
do
to
not
love
hesitate
this
to let us
departure.
know. Thank you for flying with us today.
Just, I mean, look at this.
Climb in, flight level 400, Transavia 5791.
Alright, so let's go ahead and connect to CPDLC. I tell you what, we're simulating one of those guys who just accidentally keep forgetting that, because it's fairly annoying in Boeing aircraft. And yeah, then I see you all when we start the approach to Tenerife later on. Hello everyone! So that was a lovely sunrise, wasn't it? We've just been cleared directly Cafu.
Contact Tenerife South approach on 127.7.
127.7, Ryanair 1035. And we just got the handoff to approach, so let's give him a shout. Tenerife approach, good morning, Ryanair 1035, passing level 168, descending level 150, inbound Cafu.
Ryanair 1035, Tenerife South approach identified. Good morning, expect the ILS Yankee Runway 7 approach into Tenerife South. And have you got information Kilo?
Information Kilo on board, expect the ILS Runway 07, Ryanair 1035. Alright, fantastic. Then let's go ahead and have a look into the approach and everything else. There's 1000 to go. Vertical speed.
Ryanair 1035, continue descent to flight level 110. Expect lower as you get closer.
Descent flight level 110, Ryanair 1035. Set, 110 checked, level change. Actually, tell you what, we can do VNAV over here. Ryanair loves VNAV, so let's give them what they want. Okay, cool. So let's take a moment to talk about the approach that we are going to fly. The easiest way to do this is through the approach briefing. So threats for the arrival, turbulence on the final, as well as wind shear are the two threats that I got.
1035, I've got a shortcut for you. Fly current heading 165, descend 5000, vectors for the ILS Yankee Runway 7 approach. This is for descent.
Ryanair 1035, maintain present heading, descending 5000 feet, vectors ILS 07. Set, 5000 checked, set QNH. And QNH 1018 cross-check, passing 14,300 now. Checked. So, heading select VNAV. Okay, then let's put Xanos on top. That is pretty much straight ahead. Alright, Xanos, here it is. That should give us a good VNAV profile. Plane says we're a little bit high. Let's do something about that. Okay, now for the approach briefing. For the threats, the terrain. Against that, we are going to use the terrain display. And then we've got turbulence on the final. Well, not much we can do about that, really. We will do a flap 30 landing, however, to make it a little easier to fly through that. Now, let's have a look at the FMC. Okay, so we've got 250 below flight level 100. The forecast page is filled in. Fixed rings, runway 07, 10 miles and 4 miles. Now, for the approach, we got the ILS runway 07. In the real world, you would have got the Zulu approach, so that's what I've programmed. So that thing has frequencies 109.7, active nav 1, nav 2, and final approach course 072 set on both sides, down to a field elevation of 188 with 200 in the window, and finally a minimum of a Cat Charlie aircraft of 428. And that's now set and copied to the other side. Okay, good. Then, for the approach, we are starting our descent at the Fox India in 2100, 3-degree glide down to the minimum and the go-around. Where is it? Here it is, climb on 072 degrees to 700, turn right, direct Couture, climb on 3000 and hold. Then we got 700, then Couture 3000 and hold. Then we can remove that engine outset. Okay, fuel on arrival, 3.7, minimum 2.3, so we have half an hour extra, and then we are burning 200, and that's a landing weight of 63.6. Okay, so flaps 30 for the landing, and auto brakes 3, 1800 meters, and with that we can vacate the runway to the left hand side, either on Bravo 4 or Bravo 5, probably rather Bravo 5, and then via Tango to parking Juliet 7.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, and that's all I got over here. Do you have any questions or suggestions? No? Alright, then that's our briefing complete. And we're back on the path. Altimeters, passing 9,100, descending 5,000, 10 checks. Fuel balanced, 4 pumps on, lights on, angle of bank 25, air cannon press, 3.4 descending set, fast modes on, recall check, and 1215 deselected, 10 checks complete. Alright, the cabin should be secure by now, and then we've got all that stuff. You can have the VSD on your side, and we are receiving the ILS already, so let's do the frisk check. Frequencies 109.7, fixed rings 07, 10 miles, 4 miles, idents India Tango Sierra, courses 072, and standby instruments set. Approach checklist. So that's altimeters and instruments. Second cross-checked, approach aids, check and set, approach checklist complete. Alright, lovely. So that's a very good heading. If we just continue this way, then it's gonna be all easy in the end. Now, just a very quick look down here at our briefing. So 0830 is the schedule, so that's basically 2 minutes ago. So yeah, we're gonna be like 15 late. Can't do much about that. Okay. I mean, we've already done everything we could. Lovely. So everything's set on our side, then airport is somewhere over there. I guess we're not gonna get any further shortcut over here. Okay, lovely. So we're basically done with everything. Okay, then let's have some fun. So, all manual. Now, I would absolutely love to go raw data, but Ryanair doesn't allow that, so we aren't going to do it.
Ryanair 1035, speed 200 knots.
Speed 200, Ryanair 1035. Level change. 200. So, manual trimming. So strange. Who does that?
Ryanair 1035, turn left heading 105, descend 3000.
Left turning 105, descending 3000, Ryanair 1035. Okay, flaps 1. Speed checked. And speed brakes out. Okay, let's take that Tango Sierra on top.
11 miles from FI07. Turn left heading 105. Descend altitude 2,700 feet until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS Yankee runway 7 approach. QNH 1018.
Ryanair 1035, heading 105, descend 2,700 on QNH 1018, cleared ILS 07. Okay, Fox India on top, please. Like this. Flaps 5. Speed checked. Flaps 5. So we're cleared for the approach. We are receiving good signals. And approach route. Ryanair 1035, can we reduce our speed?
Ryanair 1035, reduce speed as desired.
Speed is ours, Ryanair 1035, thank you. Okay, fantastic. Flaps 10. Speed checked. So, vertical speed 1500. And that should make it easy for us to catch the glide slope. Checked. So, looking at the range to altitude arc on our nav display, we're going to intercept that straight on the final. So that's quite nice. Both the glide slope and the localizer, so we should get a double capture. Okay. Speed brakes are coming in. Wall captured, glide slope captured. Runway heading 073, go around altitude 3000 set.
Ryanair 1035, contact Tenerife South Tower on 119.0, crossing FAI 07.
119.0, Ryanair 1035, see ya. Okay, could you please tune that? Tenerife Tower, Ryanair 1035, established ILS 07.
Ryanair 1035, Tenerife Sur Tower, expect late landing clearance, runway 07.
Okay, I'm gonna do the items nonetheless, because, well, single pilot ops here in the sim. Gear down, flaps 15. Wind check. flaps 30. Speed check, flaps 30. Landing checklist. Start switches, continuous, recall, checked, speed brake, armed green light, landing gear down 3 green, auto brake 3 set, flaps 30, 30 green light, landing lights to go.
Ryanair
Check.
1035, runway 07, wind 080 at 12, clear to land.
Runway 07, clear to land, Ryanair 1035.
9760, contact departure.
So, the wind shouldn't be too bad, but here you can see the turbulence that I talked about. It's Tenerife, it always has those turbulences.
7,
But that's really what makes the airport so interesting. And also why everyone wanted to be flying on the legs into there, except for the really lazy ones. Yep, definitely some work to do here. Checked. Continue. Speed brake up, thruster is normal. 81%. Man, I love this airport. Fantastic approach. 100 knots. 80 knots.
Ryanair
Manual
1035,
brakes.
contact ground on 121.9er.
121.9er, Ryanair 1035. I kindly tune that. Tenerife ground, Ryanair 1035, request taxi to gate Delta 7.
Ryanair 1035, taxi to terminal gate H37 via Bravo 6, Tango Delta 3.
Bravo 6, Tango Delta 3, gate Golf 7, Ryanair 1035, thank you. Alright, I love it. Tango is on the left hand side over here. And then we're entering the apron via Delta 3, which is over here. Ah, should be Juliet 7. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's clean up. Okay, so I might recall this incorrectly, but I think in the real world you would enter the apron via Delta 4 and then like that into Juliet 7. Okay, in other words, we have a little bit of a straight line ahead of us, and yet let's use that time. GSX, control, Juliet 7, and we'll use the jetway, please. No follow me needed. Handling by something. Oh wow, that's what I call some lag. Alright, shut on engine 2. And start APU. Okay, Delta 4 is coming up. Ooh, lovely A330 over here. Okay, then. Delta 4, so to the left, Juliet 7. Fantastic apron and taxiway textures, by the way. We are using the new scenery from MK Studios, and it's really, really good. I really love their airport, and even though they sent me review copies, I would rate them just as well if I didn't get them for free. Always worth disclosing, of course. Alright. So, the guidance system is on. Here's Juliet 7. Okay, stop. So, 2 blue, 1 red, engines dead. Coming through, all doors in park. So, transit shutdown checklist. And just while we're at it, let's go ahead and get the deboarding going. So we'll call it on blocks at 46, 16 minutes late. So, electrical is on the APU. Fast mode's off, Pro Beat auto, anti-ice off, voice recorder on, air compacts auto, engine bleeds on, APU bleeds on, exterior lights steady and wheel well, start switches off, auto brake off, speed brake down to 10, flaps up and light, parking brake set, start levers cut off, weather radar off, transponder 2 times standby, CB RCB in, and cockpit door unlocked. And that's our transit shutdown checklist complete. So guys, with that, welcome to Tenerife. I hope you enjoyed the flight. I absolutely did, and really gotta say this was a fantastic approach over here. I really love the turbulence, I love the way that MK Studios modeled the airfield. It's just a pure joy to fly like that. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. Like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.